Greetings Internet, welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode we'll be continuing turn 1 of Anzio, the struggle for Italy, 1943 to 45, and it'll be the German player turn of turn 1. First off though, I have to correct an error that I made at the end of the prior video where I set up Allied air units in defensive mode above that fold line on the map, which is the limit of their air superiority. They can place defensive air prior to that fold until they can't go any north of that until they've taken one of the air bases. So I've removed those 3 markers. But what I am going to do is actually use them to interdict one of the German units south of the map board. So let's go and take a look. So I've placed the 3 Allied air units here to try and interdict the 26th Panzer Division. It's a straight roll on the dice. 1 or 2 German unit not allowed strategic movement, and also its normal movement rate is halved. 3 to 4, no strategic movement. 5, 6, there's no effect. So this is the last part of the Allied turn. That's a 4, so that unit cannot strategical move. So I'm going to place it at an angle to remind me of such. So it's 1 air factor is required per stacking point of the unit, and as that's got a stacking value of 3, it required all 3 air factors. And as I said, the mistake I made in the previous videos, I placed defensive air on the beachhead, which I'm not allowed because it's north of this first fold. We all make mistakes. The other thing I should have mentioned is the Allies get 2 replacement points on that first turn, above and beyond what they've currently got on the board. So I'm going to use a little yellow dice in the little play area to remind me there's 2 additional replacement points, and they get 2 every turn. The Germans get 1 replacement point. Well, they get a variable amount. They get 1 starting this turn? No. Starting next turn. And they get a couple, which means it's an infantry replacement. If they ever get 2 replacement points, it's 1 infantry and 1 armoured. And those are in addition to the counters, so once those counters actually spend their replacement points, they are then brought back onto the map. So that's the replacements I should have done for the Allies and the air support. So we're now ready to begin the German turn. So the question for the Germans is A, do they counter-attack if they can on the beach? They won't be able to take it all out, because to actually remove this pink port in construction counter, they would actually have to ensure that every single hex is in the zone control of a German unit whilst it's under construction. Once it is constructed, they actually have to clear the whole beach. So it all depends on how much strength the Germans can get there, but also they've got to think about these Allied units here and there coming on the board. These 3 will be arriving anywhere along here. This one can arrive anywhere from here, I can't remember how far, but somewhere up to about here. He's putting his fingers all over the board. From about here to about here. I'll double check exactly where that unit can enter. So do the Germans try and slow that down, rush back to do a counter-attack or at least a defence line here, surrendering these first 2 victory conditions or victory hexes. So let's have a look. Okay, I've just checked. The Allies can enter anywhere from Y60, which is this hex, down to this hex. I think that the Germans I'm going to have pull back. Yeah, there's no point them defending down there. So the question is this area worth a counterattack? So this unit here, the commandos, which I've put on this hill to stop any strategical movement along this particular road here. Is a bit vulnerable though. He's only got a defence value of 1, doubled on that mountains to 2. So that could be worth a counter-attack. Everywhere else though, I think the Germans have got to preserve their strength. They're not going to be able to clear this beach. They're not going to be able to get every hex along the beach into a zone of control to stop the construction of this port. So I think it's best that they contain, but they do not counter-attack in strength there, and get back these couple of units. Is there any detriment to losing these two? Well, that particular hex there is one of the air bases, and losing that will give the Allies, or stop the Germans having air superiority. So that's quite an important hex in itself. I'll just check the air bases. So I think that might be worth defending with at least some initial strength. Stop the Allies just shooting straight up. How much to put into that defence? Well, that's another matter. We know the Allies are bringing a fair few amount of units on. So we need to maintain the defences of Napoli. It doesn't necessarily have to be these units. So what units can actually get to Napoli from the back here? We know this unit here can't use strategical movement, so we might as well see how far he can get, and is he worthwhile getting to over here? We've got the minor roads, which make it all one movement point through the hexes. It's not going to get there in 12, though this unit possibly could. And this unit can actually help defend Napoli. So let's do that first then. So moving along the actual road, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it can get into Napoli, which leaves these two units here. Okay. The one off the board here, our board age 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So done, not moving very far due to that Allied interdiction. So can we use these units to help an attack on this commando? Remember, got to stop once entering zone of control, and if you enter a zone of control, you must attack. Now, to cross this river, crossing the bridges negates the river effect, but there's a zone of control there by these Allied units there. So to cross the river elsewhere would take, you'd have to stop on one side, can't move off on the other side of the river. And then go in 1, 2, don't want to go into the zone of control, 3, along the road then, this is a full road, 4, 4.5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can get to there if we so wish. Let's do that. So let's just make sure I haven't made a mistake. So it's 1, 2 for clear, 3 for clear, 3.5, 4, 4.5. So we now cross the bridge. 5, 6 for the rough, 7, 8 to there, 9, 10, 11, 12, 8. Along that trail, 9, 10. I did make a mistake. 11, 12. Can't get into that hex there. Okay, so now the unit can't get exactly where I want it, I'm still going to move it round because it's creating the pocket, isn't it? So it's 1, 2, and I'm repeating myself, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9, 10.5. 11, 12 and a half. We haven't got that half. So sitting there is at least starting to create the pocket that we require to stop the allies just going wherever they want to. So we know, as I say, this has got a defence of 2. It's not on the reverse side of the river, so we're going to bring this unit into the attack, and we've got another one down here. This one here, he can be brought up, so that will be 1, 2, 3, then along the actual road 4, 5, 6, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10, 11, 12. So we probably have 6 plus 6 is 12. To 2. Now there is something about automatic victory. Now, let me just check that. Okay, so there's 2 types of automatic victory. There's one where it's involved during an attack. There's also one where it's involved in the movement. Now, this allied unit actually has 2 steps. This step and its inverted step. And if on the chart there is enough odds to cause 2 step losses on a defender, 6 to 1 will be required. So it's got a defence of 2, so we'd need 12. So that is 12. So that is an automatic victory because it's got one. It's going to be losing 2 steps. So this unit is now technically ignored for any further movement. So we know this unit's moved and this unit's moved. They can't move any further, but this unit can ignore that unit's zone of control and get closer to the allied beaches. Again, we still don't want to actually attack any of these hexes because the Germans don't have the attacking factors to do so. So, but we can go 1, 2, 3. Do we really want to get that close? Yeah, maybe stuck with that unit. So, zones of control, stop movement. We need to put something in this hex here to embellish the zone of control. Can the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can't go for strap movement, so we're going that way. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We don't want to go into that hex there, so that hex is fine. Maybe that one. 12. Yeah, that'll do. So we now got, keep the Nebelwerfer on that hex. A line of units defending there, but we've got nothing here to stop the Allies. Now the Allies can't strap move on the first. I'm pointing over here, and the camera's not even there. So it's now got no Germans here stopping a quick gain of that hex there. However, there are some units still not moved here. And this is a pile of replacement counters, but the German replacement counters do have a defence strength, and they have a capability of strap moving. So where are we going to actually bring those units? I'm going to attempt through movement to get them to at least, well, we know maybe this river line, because yeah, the Allies can't strap move with these units that are coming in on the south of the map board on the first turn. So maybe, yeah, actually, can we get anything here to stop that movement? Okay, it's a long way to go, but with strap movement they do get double movement value. So let's see if I can actually do it, count it out. And the answer is yes. So I counted it out. So from this hex to this blue hex following the road is 12 movement points. Remember, they get double movements and strap moves. So with an additional 12, they can get to there, which is defending that bridge. Remember, if the Allies come up to here, they've got to stop and cross over in the next turn. So he gets to that bridge, which at least stops that hex maybe falling on that first turn. So that leaves the replacement counters. So I'm going to move these to support. I'm going to take one down there to support that unit. Then I'm going to move another armoured one into this area. We've got one more additional infantry unit, or Panzer Grenadier unit. So we've got zones of control all the way around. So I think coming in to support here might be useful. And then we've got two other replacement counters, infantry ones. They can't move as far. They've only got 8 movement points. But again, we know it's doubled to 16 if it strap moves. So, but if they strap move, they can't move adjacent. Good point. Remember, this has got no zone of control at the present moment. It will be eliminated at the end of the movement phase. So we're going to put one, that's 12 to the blue, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, let's put one starting on its way down to the, in fact we'll put both making their way down to help in the sort of defence of the southern area of the map there. So this unit is then eliminated in the movement phase. We eliminated the movement phase so we could actually get additional units across. We could have waited to the combat phase and actually done a bit more devastating attack there, but that was my thought processes. Was I correct? Was I incorrect? Not too sure. Got no replacements this turn. What we do have though is on the first turn we can put 3 air supports out. So yeah, I think we'll put, I can't see the Allies attacking here. They don't have enough strength to attack, but let's just discourage them anyway, because this is the only time that the Axis are going to get this amount of air support. Then yeah, yeah, I think that will do it. So that ends the Germans' first game turn. As this is only my first time playing, probably putting that commando on the hill wasn't a good idea. It didn't slow down the Germans. The overrun, or automatic victory as they call it in here, took care of that one quite quickly. So in retrospect, yeah, I wouldn't do that. But that's why we play these games. We learn by doing them and making the mistakes. The actual real combatants only had one shot at this. So playing a game multiple times, you do get perfect your strategies. I obviously haven't got those. But it's a learning curve. So yes, that commander can't be replaced. He's gone permanently with his 2-step losses. And yeah, it does mean that the Allies can bring in some more troops in that area. But as we've seen, to actually break out isn't going to happen. They don't really have the strength to do so. They're going to have to wait for the guys coming up from the south to make the German position there untenable. But that's going to, again, take a bit of time. So, if you could touch the like button, give it a stroke, let me know if you like the game. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, that'd be much appreciated. It all helps in the algorithm. And any comments, especially about better ways to play, strategies, things that I've missed. As I say, I missed something in the previous video. Just let me know in the comment section. They all get read. Be much appreciated. And until next time, bye, Internet.